It starts like any other morning. You tie your shoes, grab your gloves, and head out to the community garden. But as you bend down to water the marigolds, your vision blurs. Your chest feels tight. Your hands tremble. You whisper to yourself, maybe I'm just tired. But what if you're not? You've been drinking that same herbal tea every morning, maybe licorice, maybe fenugreek, something you picked up because it said natural on the label. But now, you're feeling more fatigue, more confusion, and your sleep feels broken. Could it be age or a silent drug interaction slowly building beneath the surface? We trust nature. We believe herbs are harmless. But some of the most harmless herbs can worsen anxiety, raise blood pressure, or even lead to internal bleeding without you ever knowing. Herbal supplements are everywhere. They promise calm, balance, healing. But did you know St. John's Wort, marketed as a natural antidepressant, can cancel out your heart meds, disrupt your sleep, and worsen emotional fragility? It's not just a flower, it's a biochemical disruptor hiding in plain sight. The CDC reports over 50% of Americans over 65 take 3+ prescriptions daily. Combine that with herbs like licorice root, and you increase your risk of irregular heart rhythm, severe potassium drops, or hospitalization due to internal bleeding. The worst part, you won't feel it until it's too late. But this doesn't have to be your story. Imagine feeling more clear-headed, rested, emotionally balanced without fear of harming your body. There are 3 herbs that heal gently and wisely, trusted by generations, now confirmed by science. This is about choosing what truly supports the life you've worked so hard to build. So which 3 healthy herbs could quietly be hurting you? And which 3 are the real allies your body needs after 65? The answer may shock you and change what you trust forever. If you've ever added herbal tea or supplements to your daily routine, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. And don't forget to subscribe. Your next decision might depend on what's next. We begin with a sweet, nostalgic herbone you've likely trusted for years. Licorice root. At a cozy local diner in Arizona, a 72-year-old man orders his usual breakfast oatmeal, decaf coffee, and a steaming cup of herbal tea labeled digestive support. It's comforting, nostalgic, and silently dangerous. Within weeks, he begins feeling off, dizzy spells, swollen ankle. His blood pressure spikes without explanation. Most would never suspect the tea. Most wouldn't check the fine print. Most wouldn't know they were drinking licorice root. What if this innocent herb, sweet like childhood candy, is quietly harming your heart? Licorice root contains a compound called glycyrrhizina, naturally occurring chemical that mimics aldosterone, a hormone that regulates salt and fluid in your body. In young, healthy individuals, the body can compensate. But for seniors, especially those on blood pressure meds, diuretics, or beta blockers, the result can be electrolyte imbalance, fluid retention, and even heart failure. Glycyrrhizin tricks the kidneys, telling them to retain sodium and excrete potassium. Over time, this causes potassium levels to plummet, a condition called hypoglycemia. Symptoms may begin subtly: fatigue, muscle weakness, and irregular heartbeat. But in seniors, even a minor drop in potassium can escalate into life-threatening arrhythmias, stroke, or ER hospitalization. And here's what makes licorice truly insidious: you don't have to eat much. According to the FDA, consuming just 2 ounces of black licorice daily for 14 days can disrupt your heart rhythm. Yet many people consume it in small doses over long periods, never realizing it's building silently in their system. Licorice root is not limited to candy. It hides in herbal teas, cough syrups, energy supplements, digestive aids, and even natural hormone balancers. Its name doesn't always appear clearly. Look for words like glycyrrhiza glabra or natural sweetener. Even more dangerous, licorice can interact negatively with medications, enhancing some effects, weakening others. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't give warnings. It simply works beneath the surface, altering your internal chemistry. What if the fatigue you feel isn't from poor sleep, but low potassium? What if your rising blood pressure isn't due to stress, but a cup of tea meant to soothe you? What if you're unknowingly canceling the effects of life-saving medication every single day? Many doctors miss this interaction. Few patients report herbal tea usage as part of their daily health log. The result is a perfect storm of silence, one that leaves thousands of older adults vulnerable to sudden collapse or unexplainable cardiovascular events. And yes, women are especially at risk. Studies show women over 65 have a stronger blood pressure response to glycyrrhizin than men, due to hormonal differences and medication sensitivity. So next time you're offered a gentle digestive tea at brunch with friends, ask yourself, is it really just tea? Or is it a chemical saboteur wrapped in nostalgia? Because the truth is not all herbs age well with us. And licorice root, though ancient and sweet, is one of the most dangerous deceptions seniors face in their everyday choices. If you're sipping that cup right now, look again. Your body deserves better. And what's coming next? An herb praised for blood sugar control, but one that can drop you into hypoglycemia without warning. Stay close. Inside a community kitchen during a senior wellness workshop, a cheerful volunteer stirs herbal seeds into warm water. This one's great for blood sugar, she smiles. Everyone nods. After all, fenugreek is everywhere: supplements, teas, smoothies. Natural, ancient, trusted. But an hour later, one participant leans against the counter, pale and shaky. Her blood sugar crashed. And no one saw it coming. We want to believe in ancient remedies. The idea that a little seed from Ayurveda can soothe the gut, lower glucose, balance hormones, it's comforting. But for seniors, especially those on metformin or insulin, fenugreek is like walking a tightrope blindfolded. Why? Because its glucose-lowering power isn't precise. It's not a calibrated prescription. It's not even standardized. Its strength varies wildly from brand to brand, batch to batch. One capsule may barely affect you. Another might send you into dangerous hypoglycemia, leaving you dizzy, disoriented, or even unconscious before help arrives. For older adults with slower digestion and more sensitive systems, this unpredictability is not just annoying, it's hazardous. You might think you're being proactive, but your body, it's confused, it's tired, it's begging for stability, not sugar crashes, bloating, or hormonal misfires. Imagine this: you sit at your breakfast table, one pill of fenugreek beside your oatmeal. You swallow, expecting balance. But your morning turns into fog. Your hands tremble, your mind spins. You forget names. You grip the counter to steady yourself. Is that healing? Or is that fear wearing a health label? Here's what makes it harder. Fenugreek plays both sides. On one hand, it may lower blood sugar. On the other, it can cause gas, cramps, diarrhea, and nausea, particularly in seniors with weakened GI tracts. It's marketed as gut-friendly, yet leaves many with daily discomfort they learn to tolerate. thinking it's just aging. And then there's its hormonal mimicry. Fenugreek contains phytoestrogens, plant compounds that act like estrogen. For some, that may feel balancing. But for older adults, especially those with histories of hormone-sensitive conditions like breast or prostate cancer, it's a biochemical gamble. You don't feel it right away. But over time, it may tip delicate hormonal rhythms into imbalance, affecting mood, energy, and cellular health. Visual tease. Picture your kitchen counter. Capsules in brown bottles. Names like Balance, Sugar Shield, Natural Calm. The fonts are soft. The promises gentle. But inside one of those bottles is a seed that can shake your whole day. And your doctor might not even know you're taking it. That's the most dangerous part. Fenugreek is overlooked. It sounds harmless. It looks helpful. But for seniors, it may silently intensify fatigue, trigger confusion, and interfere with blood thinners or thyroid meds, especially if no one's tracking it. You might not notice until your legs give out halfway through the hallway. At a small pharmacy in a quiet retirement community, a kind pharmacist checks prescriptions. She notices something troubling 3 residents on antidepressants, statins, and blood thinners have all recently purchased the same over-the-counter herbest, John's Wort. None of them mentioned it to their doctor. None realized the risk. None expected this cheerful little flower to disrupt their entire medication plan. John's Wort is often marketed as nature's antidepressant. You'll find it in tea blends, wellness capsules, even calming sprays. The promise: gentle mood support, reduced anxiety, and better sleep. But here's the breaking truth: behind its sunny petals lies a biochemical disruptor with the power to shut down your medication before it has a chance to work. Why is it so dangerous? Because St. John's Wort triggers liver enzymes, specifically CY3A4 and P-glycoprotein, which accelerate the breakdown of medications. That means your antidepressants, blood pressure meds, anti-anxiety pills, or blood thinners may be processed too quickly to provide any therapeutic effect. In simpler terms, the pills you rely on become useless. Now imagine this: you've been taking your medications faithfully. Your doctor adjusts your dosage. You feel okay until you don't. Suddenly, your anxiety returns, your blood pressure rises, or you experience strange emotional swings. You question your dosage, your doctor, even yourself. But the real saboteur, that natural herb in your cabinet quietly rewriting your body's chemistry. Cliffhanger moment, and it's not just prescriptions. St. John's Wort also interferes with over-the-counter pain relievers, sleep aids, and even anesthesia. Planning surgery. Your herb could make sedation ineffective. It doesn't end there. Multiple studies, including a 2023 review in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, have confirmed that St. John's Wort reduces the efficacy of SSRIs by over 50% in some seniors. Another study linked it to increased bleeding risk when taken with aspirin or warfarin. These are not mild effects, they're life-threatening in a body already balancing multiple conditions. Let's talk pain echo. That confusion you felt last week. That fatigue that came back out of nowhere. That subtle anxiety creeping back in after months of calm. It may not be you. It may be this herb, slowly undoing all your progress without any warning signs. The real danger: you won't feel the sabotage until damage is done. St. John's Wort doesn't give symptoms of interaction. It simply weakens your medication. So while you think you're doing something good for your mood, your heart, your brain, the herb is quietly turning down the volume on your healing. Micro challenge. Check your cabinet tonight. If you see St. John's wort, ask yourself, have I told my doctor? Am I tracking how it makes me feel? Am I using it alongside prescription meds? You might think it's harmless. You might think it's helping. But here's the truth. No herb should carry this much hidden power over your health. And what's next? A herb known for emotional healing, but the wrong dose at the wrong time could destroy the fragile balance you've fought hard to maintain. Coming up, the 3 safe herbs your body actually welcomes, starting with one that protects memory like a quiet guardian. Every Thursday at the Senior Book Club, Eleanor arrives early with lemon scones and her favorite paperback. She used to lead discussions, recalling plot points, character arcs, and themes with ease. But lately, things slip. Names blur. She forgets which chapter they're on. She laughs it off, but deep down, she worries. She's not the only one. For many older adults, the quiet loss of mental clarity feels like drifting. You're still here, but not fully. You feel scattered in conversation. You lose track mid-sentence. It's not just frustrating, it shakes your sense of self. But what if there were a way to gently protect the mind, slow the fog, and restore a sense of presence? That's where ginkgo biloba comes in. A leaf from one of the world's oldest tree species. Ginkgo has been used for centuries in traditional medicine to support memory and concentration. In many parts of Europe, it's not just a supplement, it's a prescription. What makes ginkgo special is how it works. It improves microcirculation to the brain, especially in the tiny capillaries that tend to clog or narrow with age. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reach the brain, fueling the neurons responsible for memory, language, and focus. It's not a stimulant. You don't feel a jolt. Instead, you notice you're more engaged, more grounded. Like fog lifting slowly from a quiet morning field. Studies confirm this. In one clinical trial, seniors who took ginkgo regularly reported improvements in recall, attention span, and even mood stability. And while it's not a cure for dementia, research suggests it may help slow the progression of cognitive decline, especially in the early stages. But ginkgo's benefits don't stop with the brain. Improved blood circulation also helps with eye health, hearing, and balance issues that often undermine confidence in seniors, leading to social withdrawal and falls. Yet, despite decades of use and growing scientific support, ginkgo is often overlooked in some senior care. We're told that forgetfulness is just part of getting older, that it's inevitable. But what if that narrative is outdated? What if memory loss isn't a destination, but a process that can be slowed, even softened? If you've ever paused mid-sentence or walked into a room and forgotten why you're not broken, you're human. And ginkgo might offer a gentle shield for your mind. Imagine this. You're back at book club. You remember the author's name. You lead the discussion. You feel engaged, connected, present. Not like your younger self, but like your whole self again. Coming up next, an ancient root not for energy, but for emotional strength. Ashwagandha, herb that doesn't dull stress, but helps you carry it with grace. Stay tuned. On a rooftop garden, seniors plant herbs under soft morning light. Beneath their smile-stight shoulders, racing minds, shallow sleep. They don't talk about it, but they feel it. Ashwagandha, used for over 3,000 years, doesn't sedate it, restores resilience. Science now proves it lowers cortisol, helping the body adapt to stress. Think of your nervous system as a violin string pulled tight over decades. Ashwagandha doesn't cut the string. It gently loosens the tension, letting life vibrate in harmony again. Seniors taking ashwagandha report deeper sleep, steadier mood, better clarity. Not overnight, but with rhythm, with respect. It also reduces inflammation, supports thyroid health, and aids in recovery essential for aging bodies. If you've been waking up anxious or feeling like rest never fully lands, ashwagandha may be your quiet rebalancer. Calm isn't the absence of storms. It's remembering your strength through them. At the community choir, Helen once sang with grace. But now, lyrics vanish, nerves tremble. She stays home more often, blaming stress, blaming age. But one evening, she brews lemon balm, an herb long known as the elixir of peace. Its citrusy scent, calming taste, and powerful compound rosmarinic acid ease the nervous system, reduce anxiety, and restore sleep. After a few weeks, Helen sleeps deeper. Focus returns. Her voice softens into confidence again. Lemon balm doesn't just soothe the mind, it eases digestion, often linked to mood in older adults. Some studies suggest it even helps memory in those facing emotional sensitivity. And the ritual matters. A cup at dusk, a breath between sips, a signal to the body, you are safe now. For those overstimulated, restless, or simply needing one moment of stillness, lemon balm isn't a supplement. It's a sanctuary. At an early morning volunteer event, seniors stack tables, arrange boxes, and trade smiles. One pauses, chuckles. Anyone else feel like their battery's at 30% before noon? Everyone laughs. But under that laugh is a truth: we're running, but not always recovering. Sometimes the issue isn't what you're missing, but how you're combining what you already have. Ginkgo plus walking. Ginkgo boosts brain circulation. Walking activates the brain's demand. Together, real mental clarity. Ashwagandha plus music. Ashwagandha lowers stress. Music slows heart rate. Together, nervous system recovery. Lemon balm plus conversation calms the body. But when shared with someone, it also calms the soul. This is the new approach: less, add more, more pair wisely. You don't need extra pills. You need harmony between herb and habit, between plant and purpose. If you've tried herbs and felt no shift, maybe the missing piece isn't potency, it's rhythm. So reflect. When was the last time a ritual helped more than a rule? When did rest feel earned, not stolen? These herbs weren't meant for shelves. They were meant for stories, for sequence, for sync. Because healing doesn't always require more. Sometimes it requires better pairing. At a family barbecue, Grandpa Bill sits nearby, smiling, hands folded. Once the grill master, now sidelined. His knees ache. He doesn't want to limp in front of the grandkids. Turmeric may not be flashy, but its power is real. Curcumin, turmeric's active compound, has shown anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and neuroprotective effects in over 200 studies. But it doesn't work instantly. It works over time. With daily use and the right pairing, black pepper and healthy fetid becomes bioavailable and effective. A 2024 review from Journal of Inflammation Research found curcumin reduced joint pain and stiffness in seniors by 40%, rivaling NSAIDs without the gut risks. It's not just for joints. Turmeric lowers systemic inflammation, easing fatigue, improving cognition, and protecting immunity. If you've been slower to rise, stiffer to walk, or sore after rest, turmeric may be the foundation your body's asking for. Not a quick fix, but a quiet shift, a comeback. Back to the grill, back to ease, back to yourself. Stay hydrated, they said. So you do. Bottles by the bed, glasses at meals. Sip, sip, sip. But what if water starts working against you? In a senior yoga class, Linda drank 2 full bottles before stretching. Minutes later, lightheaded, trembling, confused. Not dehydration. Overhydration. It's real. It's common. And it's often overlooked. As we age, kidneys slow down. Many medications flush out sodium. Drinking too much can dilute sodium, triggering symptoms identical to dehydration, fatigue, dizziness, mental fog. You feel worse. You drink more. You spiral deeper. A 2023 Cleveland Clinic study found 1 in 5 ER visits for senior fainting linked to hyponatremia, too much fluid, too little salt. This isn't about drinking less. It's about drinking smart, listening to your body, not chasing a quota. Water is vital, but balance is survival. Sometimes healing means subtracting, not adding. Maybe something in this video felt familiar. A symptom, a tea you trusted, a habit you've never questioned. Now you see the full picture. You've learned that not all herbs heal. That some, like licorice, fenugreek, St. John's wort, carry hidden risks. And that others, like ginkgo, ashwagandha, and lemon balm, support the mind and body with quiet strength. You've seen how turmeric, hydration, and pairing ancient with modern can shift your foundation. This is no longer about guessing. It's about choosing. Your next step. Open the cabinet. Ask one more question. Replace blind trust with informed care. Because your body has carried you decades. It deserves clarity, not clutter. And you deserve peace, not pressure. If this video helped you, type 1. If you plan to act on it, type 2. If you want more, subscribe. We're not done. This journey isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware and choosing the life you still have with intention.